is enough, and it's time for a change!
It is Sunday, and you're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah!
Get some man!
Woo, yeah!
With Kinny Killer.
Hey, yo!
We're in the big D tonight, baby, and we are live! Woo!
I'm the Goddamn Sugar Shook.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be! Cause that's the bottom line! The Stone Cold Simpson!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 72. I am the hashtag Tech Guy Shugs, and today there is no Kinny Killer because he's away being Dad of the Year. He's putting his entry early, and he did pop on just so he could record, because you should always remember double bag when you're recording a podcast. Today I'm joined by Paul Field from the Attitude Era. Paul.
What up? What's the story, guys?
And I'm also joined by Jake Parker.
Hello.
And the Irish Commodity herself, Vicky Earls.
Hello.
Hello. So, Paul, how are things with you? And you were just talking to me offline about the Attitude Era. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going alright. It's going not too bad. Still going strong. So we're through a year already. So we started the show back in June 2013. So Jake wasn't on the show at that time, but we've taken him on. So yeah, it's going strong. We've added in a couple of fun segments. So the show has kind of had a bit of a revamp. So we'll be able to upload a couple of our shows online in the near future.
Okay, that's good. And Jake, how about you, mate?
What?
How you doing? How you get on?
I'm not bad.
Not
Still
bad.
in bed, which is pretty nice.
Oh yeah, great. I'd love to be in bed right now. But you know, got things to do, podcast to host and all that shit. Vicky, how about you?
Not too bad. All good.
All good? So
All good.
Everyone's happy, everyone's grand.
We're grand.
Is this an all Irish show? Apart
Yeah.
from me?
Yeah, we're mighty fine. We are. We're fine.
That's it. We need to be, you know, there's no point dyeing our hair orange and making sure we don't wait in the sun unless we're going to represent.
Oh, I did that last night. My hair's all orange now. Oh.
Sad.
We should just spend the whole show just doing typical Irish talk. Fine
Yeah.
weather, isn't it? Fine weather.
Oh, 'tis grand, sir, you know.
Sure look.
What do you guys think of the Commonwealth Games? Ireland did well. Was that your part of Ireland, the right part?
No.
I'm gonna be honest.
No,
Come
Didn't
on.
even watch it.
didn't even watch it.
No, not 1 minute. Not one single minute.
Couldn't
Well,
give a shit.
Couldn't give a shit. No.
No.
I don't expect Jake was any more enthusiastic.
No.
No? Well, you know, Ireland did really well at fighting. They won lots of boxing medals.
That's
and,
true. I did hear of what's his name?
Nevin? No.
Yeah, who complained that it wasn't his anthem that was.
Oh, they played
I
the
heard
wrong
about
one.
that. I didn't see anything. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he was a bit silly, wasn't he? Come on now. You know what's gonna happen if you win. Why would you say that, knowing full well that anthem is gonna play? But never mind. Like that's another story.
It's another story for another day. Okay, so let's get on with the technical stuff. So all you seg heads out there, you can get hold of us on Twitter, which is at Sunday Segue. Same for Facebook, or a YouTube channel, Stitcher Radio, Podomatic, Mixcloud, and don't forget obviously to download that Double Twist player. And what we want to try and get is more people to rate us on iTunes. Okay, means you gotta have an iPhone first of all, and so that means you're in bed with the devil. But still give us those iTunes ratings and get us up there, because we don't seem to be making a dent in the iTunes market, and that's where we want to be. So shout outs. So Paul, any shout outs?
No.
Not even a shout out to Connor.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
No, don't give him one. Don't give him one.
Okay, non-shout out to Connor.
A non-shout out to Connor.
Yeah.
Okay, Jake, any shout outs?
Last time I gave a shout out to Coke. This time I'd like to do it for Pepsi. Yeah.
Can you tell the difference between the two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly, yeah. Pepsi's sweeter.
Okay, and Vicky, any shout outs?
Lion's tea and Barry's tea. And a bit of Tato as well.
Yay.
Lion's tea
sorry.
and
Barry's tea.
Barry's tea.
Tato. If you're not Irish, you don't get it.
It's this guy called Barry who has some fantastic tea.
He's an obsession with tea bags, you know? He likes tea bagging.
He likes tea bagging.
God damn it.
I went there.
Is this a PG show? No, it's not. Okay.
Obviously not.
It's never been a PG show.
Fuck me.
Last time we had somebody saying the C word in the first 60 seconds, so
wow.
Don't worry. So, first of all, breaking WWE news, Alberto Del Rio got released this week. So, Paul, what do you think of the demise of the dry lunch, as he was christened on the podcast?
I don't know, because it all seems a bit weird. I don't know if you guys seen WWE actually tweeted about him.
Yeah.
And saying, how he was so unprofessional and that shouldn't be happening in the workplace or whatever. And then Triple H retweeted that tweet from the WWE account. So they don't do this regularly for people that's been released. I still think that he's been released. I don't think it's a work. But, because, if it was a work, why would they do it to Alberto Del Rio? And, why not do it on TV, or why not, something like that.
Yeah.
If he gets mentioned on TV, then I'll probably believe it's a work. But other than that, I think he is released. I feel kind of bad for him because he never really had a chance. Well, he had a chance.
He had loads of chances, man.
But he never really connected with the crowd. For all the chances he did have, he never really connected with the crowd. Even though I thought that when he first debuted, I really, really liked the character. I thought he was great in the ring, had some great matches with Christian, Rey Mysterio, even CM Punk, and I thought he was a good hand, and I thought he could have even had a nice little niche for himself in the Intercontinental Championship kind of division. But yeah, he was kind of lost for the past couple of months, even past year.
Yeah, Jake, what do you think about Del Rio? Do you think he's going to be missed on the roster?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I think they're just not concentrating on the Mexican market anymore. It's all about Japan now. So they're getting rid of all the Mexican guys.
Yeah, but it seems like they're still always trying to find the next Mexican superstar. So they've got Del Rio there, and they're looking already for the next one. So obviously Cara didn't work out, and
no, it's like what Paul said. Like, he came in, he was a good hand in the ring, but the crowd just did not connect with him at all. It's just that old generic rich guy character. I just don't think that really works anymore.
But even then, his promos really weren't the best. Like, even when he debuted, he had his little wink thing that he'd always say at the end of his promos. But like, that's not good enough. If you want to be like a main event player, you got to show a bit more. And I hated, like, even when he stopped with the whole Destiny stuff in his promos after about like 2012, and even when he was still going for the cross arm breaker as a face in like 2013, and even as a heel in the past couple of months, he still would say like Destiny, and it's kind of like, what is your character? What are you doing? Like, I think his face run was pathetic, and the fact that he went into WrestleMania as a world champion is just, as a face especially, and his matches with Jack Swagger were pretty awful. I can't believe how like quickly he fell.
To be quite honest, Paul, you said it before. I think they're just more or less forgetting about that generation as future contenders for champions these days. It's all about the new guys coming from NXT, and unfortunately Del Rio kind of falls into that bracket now.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without
Vicky,
an absolute doubt.
do you think you're going to miss Alberto Del Rio?
I liked him in the ring. I think, I agree that he hasn't done like too much with the crowd, but I think he just peed everyone off against Ziggler, because obviously everyone loves Ziggler. So when he started beating them and all the stuff with the title and stuff, I think that just didn't do him anything else. It kind of just really cemented him to go, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Because Ziggler's so loved, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like another nail.
Yeah, I think what the guys are saying is right as well. It seems to be they're concentrating on the stars that they feel like they have built now than these people who are already there. So they feel like they've built Ambrose, Rollins, Daniel Bryan, all these people, and you know they.
But it's more so just the generation of wrestlers who would have debuted in 2008, 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
ECW guys.
Cody Rhodes, Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, even The Miz. All of these wrestlers who have been around, Jack Swagger, another one.
Yeah.
All of these wrestlers that have been around the company for the past couple of years, their moment and their chance has gone. It's no longer, they just don't have any chance to become the guy or to become one of the biggest guys in the company because their moment is gone. It's now time for the NXT guys.
And they feel like
WWE's going to focus on that.
They feel like they were already done it. So apart from Daniel Bryan, none of them have actually taken their opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, they've had so many push, like stop and start. Like their pushes have just gone so up and down all over the place. One week Kofi Kingston beats Randy Orton, the next week he loses to Fandango in his debut. You know what I mean? Like there's been so many stop-start pushes for guys that I think it's absolutely impossible for them to ever become a main event level talent. And I also think WWE thinks the same. They're looking at the young talents that they see in NXT or the young talent that have just debuted at the moment, and that's the next. Because these guys like Ziggler, Kingston, no matter how much they get a push in the next couple of months, they've still lost all credibility based on their past couple of years in the company.
And they're all starting to get on now as well, so like wrestling's a young man's game.
Yeah, you know? And we've got to forget about all the shite they've been doing for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen overnight.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go into Raw then, I suppose. Start off Raw. We get the Authority in the ring. And then this is the beginning of the actual forcing down our throats of the $9.99.
What's $9.99?
Those Lions tea bags, apparently.
They are?
What?
Well done, Sugs.
And then he starts getting on people and even gets the crowd involved. So these are such fucking mindless idiots that they actually cheer on with the $9.99. Yeah. So, Vicky, what did you think of this promo from Triple H at the start?
It was alright. It was solid enough, but it's boring, you know. I don't want to know about the network $9.99 crap all the time. Do you know it was said 41 times throughout Raw?
So somebody actually counted.
Someone counted it and said it was said 41 times. I didn't count it. I couldn't be effed, but 41 times. But I thought Stephanie did well. She got the most heat out of that promo, I thought. And then when Reigns came in, it seemed like everyone was behind him.
So what do you think of how she is currently doing? Obviously, like she's like the number one heel in the company at the moment.
I think she's great. I don't mind it. I mean, I kind of feel like I have to stick up for the girls. Like, you know, no one else is going to. So
yeah. I
think she's doing. I'm actually like, I didn't mind it ending on her and Brie for a change. You know, it was kind of a bit different, but yeah, I liked it. She's very good.
So have any of you three guys got the network through like illegal means or you know?
Yeah.
I have not. No.
No.
Nope.
So Vic, you actually have got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got it already. So you don't need to wait until October the 1st.
No.
Are you paying $9.99?
$9.98.
Oh.
TNA deal.
Okay, so Paul, what do you think of you know, Triple H getting the crowd involved and obviously the network figures were down, so that's why we had these 40-odd $9.99s. But what do you think of basing the promo around the fucking WWE network?
I thought it was absolutely embarrassing. I thought it was pathetic. I really, really did. I'm sitting there watching it, and it's just such the self-promotion and the almost they were so desperate in the way that they were doing it and getting the crowd to chant along to it. I almost wanted to just turn off Raw and delete it from my Sky Plus planner because I knew it was going to be one of them episodes and I was right, and I thought it was one of the worst episodes of Raw we've seen in a long while. Just a lot of crazy things happened that didn't make any sense to me. And number one on that list was the $9.99 being shoved down our throats. So much so that JBL would write on a piece of paper $9.99 and send it up, and then cover Michael Cole's face. Like, you could even see almost Michael Cole felt so, like, I don't know, embarrassed doing it. Especially when it turned to Jerry Lawler, JBL, and Cole. You could just tell the embarrassment on their faces for having to do this. I mean, for the past couple of years, Michael Cole has been the number one promoter for WWE because he's been commentating and he's been shoving down the network, Twitter, all of their social media and all that. But you could even tell that even then he thought that it was a joke, and it was an absolute joke.
I loved it.
Yeah, that's the thing is, so like Michael Cole, obviously people's thoughts on him turned around after that Jerry the King Lawler incident. People didn't think he was as much as a dick as they used to. And, you know, he's not a terrible commentator, and basically he's the best we're going to get at the moment, but obviously he's got Vince McMahon in his ear, or, you know, Triple H when he's not on screen in his ear, and I suppose he's just got to shovel all this shit that they're fucking feeding him.
I respect Michael Cole. I don't think he's a great commentator. I think he's average at best. His best years was when he was with Taz from like 2002 to 2005. That was absolutely, without a doubt, his best years. But I respect him for the amount of stuff that he does for the company. Like, the guy, he does the JBL and Cole show for YouTube. He does SmackDown. So even just from Raw and SmackDown, he does 5 hours of commentary a week at least. And then he also does, you know, the weekly interviews and does all of this stuff. And you know, you have to respect him for that.
Yeah. Okay, so we go from there into Kane versus Roman Reigns. This is starting to be one of those matches when you know that this just gonna be shite. They don't seem to have any chemistry at all. But they keep matching them up for some reason, and they always seem to end up with a Kane and Roman Reigns match. So, what do you think of this, Jake? As we got a last man standing match as the first match on Raw.
I think that they are going to be in trouble if they push Roman Reigns far too soon. I don't think he's good in the ring as a singles character. He's been protected so much since he debuted in tags, 6-man tags, Rumbles, Battle Royals, ladder matches where you can just hide for a little while, come in, do his spots, win or lose, whatever hell. I think they're like, these guys basically just threw each other into barricades, threw each other into this and that. Didn't actually wrestle for however long it was on, 15 minutes.
Yeah, they were sort of like walking around to the next thing they could throw each other into, rather than doing any actual wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worrying that this is the guy they're going to go forward with, and he doesn't seem to be ready as a singles guy. Yeah.
So, Paul, if Reigns isn't ready, who is ready? Who do you think should be in this Reigns Raw?
See, I don't know. Is there anyone? I can think of maybe. See, I mean, we all appreciate Dolph Ziggler as a wrestler, and I think he should be up there in and roundabout. But as I said, I think his time has kind of come and gone. I genuinely can't think of anyone that can be put in the position, and that is really frightening. When you think about it.
I think that's the entire problem. You know, he's the best fit at the moment. Vicky, what are your thoughts on Roman Reigns, apart from his lovely flowing locks and dreamboat eyes?
Does he have that? I don't think so.
Oh,
no?
Maybe it's just me then. Okay.
Okay, weirdo. Is that a Welsh thing? No, I don't know. Yeah, like the guys say, he's not ready. He's far from ready, and he's not even that great on the mic and stuff. I don't believe, as they would say. You know, he hasn't come as far as the other two. I'm so good.
I think he's in the Brie Bella mic school. I think he goes to, because he just seems.
She's better than him.
Ah, Jesus.
She is though. He's very stiff.
Feel bad for him. I kind of feel bad for him. I mean, the guy, he is a talent. We've seen from all of the moments that he has, let's see, with the Superman punch and the spear. But I don't think he gets why he's doing all of this stuff in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell, especially when he's against Kane, there are so many times where they both don't really know what's going to happen next, and you'll blatantly hear Roman Reigns saying Samoan drop or whatever, and then they just go to the Samoan drop, and that's it. Like, there's too many punches and kicks.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to understand ring psychology at all.
But surely,
not at all.
Surely Kane should have been taking him through the match rather than him suggesting one of his 6 moves to do.
Well, they're probably testing Roman Reigns in the sense that, all right, kid, you're calling this match,
exactly.
And and then they're going to see how he gets on. See, the thing was, when John Cena first came in, he had so many experienced wrestlers around him. Like in his pay-per-view debut, Brock Lesnar for WWE title at Backlash. Like, I mean, I know he fought Chris Jericho in Vengeance, but his big first main event level match with Lesnar. You don't get that experience these days because there's not many veterans around.
No,
I think Roman Reigns should have a long feud with somebody that's not Kane and not on his level in stature in the sense like that of build.
Yeah.
It should be somebody who's a ring veteran, a la Christian or a Jericho. A heel Jericho could do absolute wonders with Roman Reigns. At the moment, they're pairing him up with the wrong people. I know Randy Orton is going with them, so that should help him.
I don't know if that will, Paul.
I don't think so.
There's reports as well at house shows that their matches have been dire because Randy Orton's been doing that shit slow style that he does.
Yeah.
Just completely wearing out the crowd with it.
I think even like Booker T on one of his post-show things, where you were saying his actual comment was, everyone says that Randy Orton goes into business for himself, but he's the Viper. He doesn't. So even fucking Booker T is, saying about what Randy Orton wrestles. Hey, Randy Orton wants to wrestle. Unless he's in there with John Cena or unless he's in there with Daniel Bryan, you're just getting that slow pace. Draping DDT, and all this same old shit, and he's not gonna actually raise his game for anyone.
I think he doesn't raise his game because the wrestler across from him doesn't make him raise his game.
Exactly, that's what I think.
And I'm thinking, look back to his feud with Christian. Randy Orton could have seen that as a step down, facing off against Christian, but I just know, based on their matches, that Christian was so good in the ring, he's such a veteran, that he pushed Randy Orton to think of counters, new moves, and bring a bit more excitement into their matches. And I don't think Roman Reigns is doing that. I think when Randy Orton is the one that has to carry the match and be the veteran and create a new star, he's not the best.
Yeah.
But when he's pushed by somebody who's on the same level as him in quality of the ring, that brings out the best.
Yeah, this is the thing though, for all these people coming up, so for Seth Rollins, for Dean Ambrose, for Reigns, there's who are the people who they're going to be rubbing off on, or who are the people they're going to get the experience from, because there's nobody there. You've got Kane, you've got Randy Orton, you've got Cena. If you're lucky enough to be in a feud with John Cena, you actually know that he's going to give you something back. So,
yeah. Well, do you know what the funny thing is? And I've just thought of this. You're asking me, is there anybody else out there? And there is. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the best mic skills, but Cesaro, without a doubt, can go and can push other wrestlers in the ring. And if anything, I would say he's one of the best wrestlers in the company. Like, he is, clearly. But he would push Randy Orton, and he would push John Cena, and he would push all of these guys to create better matches. And they're throwing it away with Cesaro at the moment. Now, we all know that his mic skills really aren't the best. And neither are Roman Reigns, but Cesaro is far and above, beyond the quality of Roman Reigns in the ring.
And his mic skills are fucking 10 times better than Roman Reigns. He can string
they would be.
He can string a sentence together. Yeah. Okay, so from there, from the Kane's versus Reigns last man standing match, obviously Kane doesn't beat the count, even though the referee forgot to do a 10 count on the one for some fucking reason. Then we go into this fucking, probably, my favourite part of the show, the SummerSlam promo. Brock Lesnar, just, obviously, they filmed it like a UFC type promo, and Lesnar's just fucking shooting basically on Cena. Just, this is one scary looking dude. Vicky, what did you think of the way they shot this promo, and basically what the Lesnar part of it, first of all?
I loved it. I've watched it about 5 or 6 times. I loved that it was different. Their editing skills are like no one else's. Just so good. And I hate Lesnar when he speaks. He sounds like a whiny woman. But he was I actually liked it. I didn't mind. You know, for an ass, what does he always say? I'm an ass kisser or kicker. An ass
He's not an ass kisser.
an ass kisser.
Yes,
I'm
kicking
Brock
son of a
Lesnar, the
bitch.
UFC champion. I kiss asses.
He probably does. Kiss a stable's ass, no.
Fucking right he does.
But no, I usually hate like, oh, I'm an ass kicker. But he was actually quite good for a change.
Yeah. What was the last comment? He's gonna leave Cena in a pool of urine,
Blood and
Blood
vomit.
and
and vomit. Fucking great, like.
What a t-shirt.
It was so natural.
Yeah.
So natural.
Yeah.
It just came across as non-scripted. You knew, and he almost fumbled his lines the odd there, but that just added to the realism of the fact that you could just tell that he wants to go into the ring and beat the shit out of John Cena.
Yeah.
He does. You're gonna kill him.
And if it was anything
Murder.
like their last match, which apart from the finish was a fucking brilliant match.
Yeah.
And they worked stiff as hell in the last match.
Look, the way this match should really go, there should be like back and forth ish for 20 minutes, but Brock Lesnar should really dominate the last 5. He should actually just beat up John Cena, beat the holy hell out of him.
Yeah,
for 5 minutes.
You should just leave him laying, like you said. Just leave him so Cena's like beat down, and then we're worrying if Cena's ever going to come back from this beat down.
Suggs, who do you think is walking out as champ?
I hope that it is Lesnar. There's too many matches we've seen, and we say, oh well, Cena didn't really need to win that match, but he wins anyway. You know,
Lesnar has to win.
They had to beat the streak for Lesnar to get his credibility back after losing to Triple H and losing to Cena. He should be undefeated still since his comeback.
It would be funny if the whole breaking of the streak was just another moment for John Cena to come out victorious.
Well, yeah, he beat the guy who beat the Undertaker.
Yeah, when you
one.
think about it that way, Brock Lesnar absolutely 100% must win.
Yeah, he needs to win.
Other than that, it's a waste of time. Time, basically.
It is absolute waste of time.
Yeah,
it's true. Like, I mean, you have to capitalize on somebody beating the streak. It's the biggest moment in wrestling in probably ever. Nobody ever thought the streak was going to end. Brock Lesnar ended the streak in the biggest moment in wrestling history, up there with Hogan and Andre, and then he's going to lose to John. He's going to lose to John Cena at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think he needs to stay. You know, even if they're planning on Lesnar reigns for this year's WrestleMania, I think he needs to win. I think he needs to go roughshod for like until next year, maybe until WrestleMania 32. Just beat the shit out of everyone. You know.
I think so as well. I think he needs a long reign.
Yeah, nothing seems to last long enough. You know, apart from the streak, which lasted a thing, and then we had Punk's 400-day reign. Yeah. We don't get enough length in any of our programs anymore.
But even then, I mean, that's names over Punk's reign in the sense that until he became he wasn't in an event once, except for like the TLC match with Del Rio and Miz. Like, if Brock Lesnar is your champion for like almost a year, or even further to that, 2 years, he just brings a certain like main event level feel and just blockbuster feel to it. Like,
yeah, but
somebody like non-wrestling fans would say, "Who's the champion of WWE?" Brock Lesnar, and he has been for a year. Like, people are going to say, "Shit, I want to watch the next time he fights," you know, and that's what they need to do.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen though. Like, they're not going to have their title on a guy who's only there 4 times a year.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, if they could possibly persuade him to stick around for it, just add in a couple of more dates, not full time, but just in a couple of more dates, because you do have Paul Heyman there as his mouthpiece that you can use if needs be.
Look, that works for a while, but I got sick of hearing about Paul Heyman talking about the streak. Like, it just didn't have the same effect without Brock Lesnar being there.
Yeah. But in the other sense, though, they could just do pre-tape promos, or like, workout promos like they did for SummerSlam, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so that was the highlight of the show in my eyes. Best part, obviously, great WWE production skills, and really I wish they would do more of that for some of the other angles to try and make them look a bit better.
Did you find it funny John Cena saying that he's there every night, and the one night he says that, he's not actually on Raw.
Yeah, I'm there every night, apart from when I actually get a decent movie role, then I fuck off.
That was Cena via satellite.
So next we get Boomer Sooner Sandow versus Mark Henry. Vicky, are you a Sandow fan? Are you one who cries into your Lions tea every time you see him come out?
He deserves a bit better than this shit.
A bit better?
Well, you know what I mean? Like, a lot better.
A lot better, thank you.
I just feel sorry for him. I didn't even watch this. I went and made a cup of tea. I couldn't have been bothered.
A cup of Lions tea?
A cup of PG Tips tea.
Oh.
PG Tips, ooh, you're fancy.
Jesus.
Oh, I know, on offer.
Where's the love for the Barry's tea?
Yeah.
It's real expensive over here. It's like £3 for 80.
Don't want to get teabagged by Barry. So
well done.
Stick with the PG Tips. So Jake, what are your views on Sandow? Since he cashed in that Money in the Bank, had a great performance against Cena, then he's just been shat on from an almighty height for months.
Yeah, no, it's perplexing. I wonder whose cereal he shit in. Like, 'cause he didn't piss in it, he fucking shit in someone's cereal, seriously.
Yeah.
To be getting all this. At least he's getting TV time.
Well, yeah, that is.
Yeah.
He's there. He's on the show.
If he was getting absolutely buried, he'd be on, like, I don't know, probably, I don't know, some shit superstar show or something, I don't know.
Yeah,
he's working with it, like, he's working with what he's given, and he's doing alright, like...
Yeah,
he's weathering the storm.
Zack Ryder's not on TV. He turns up every now and then, but, you know, he doesn't exist. He's a non-entity. At least Sandow is there. And he comes up with something every week. Whether they're coming up with it or whether he is, he's still there.
True.
So, has anyone seen the WWE produced movie Oculus?
No.
No?
No, everyone.
So none of us.
It's a WWE film. It's going to be shit.
Yes. So this Adam Rose segment, the next part, where he was looking into the Oculus mirror and saw himself as a businessman with a suitcase, or as he said, a lemon.
It don't be a lemon.
It sounds great on paper. It really does.
Yeah. So you know that film Oculus went straight to DVD. Yeah. So we'll get the mirror and you look into it, and then you look in there, and you're a lemon. Oh, great! But
what's what?
I don't feel like there was enough explanation of what the segment was. So they were like, "Oh, it's the Oculus mirror," but then, how many people actually knew what that was? You know,
no one.
Because yeah, it's something. You know, if it was something from the Marine 4, we'd probably know about it because we would have had it fucking shoved down our throats. But the Oculus mirror, nobody knew. What the hell
they didn't even state that it was a film. They just said that's the Oculus. Like, if nobody knew that there was an Oculus film out there, they had no idea why they did that segment.
Oh yeah,
WWE's gone downhill with this mirror shit.
Yeah.
So much for the reality era.
Oh,
God.
It was terrible.
What's happened to Adam Rose? Like, I know, fair enough, he may not be the best in the ring, but has he had a match past 2 minutes?
No.
I think people overreacted to the gimmick on NXT. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was a lot of fanfare. Yeah.
And I actually really enjoyed it. Remember when he had an interview with Renee Young? He started interviewing Renee Young, and I was like, oh, damn, that's a new thing that he's going to start doing. And they didn't do it once after that at all.
No. I think he's just destined for failure. They give up too quick on people as well. So if you're not over within like the first month, Vince McMahon, Triple H, they don't want to fucking know.
Mm.
You know, unless you're their specific project.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, even then, apparently Fandango was Vince McMahon's project, and look at how well he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so then we get Ambrose and Del Rio, and in my show notes when I was watching, I said, "Why is Alberto Del Rio still working here?"
Nice.
So this was a beat the clock match, and the good thing about this was usually, you get a time of like 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and you know that the second match is gonna finish in like 2 or 3 minutes. But this match went on for a long time. And
15 minutes.
Yeah, it was like a 15 minute beat the clock match. So when it actually finished, you're sat there thinking, well, There's no way that they're going to beat this, and Rollins is going to be able to choose the stipulation from the match. But what did we think of this being one of Alberto Del Rio's like maybe last matches on the show?
It just goes to show that he is a good hand, because it was actually a good match. As Paul said earlier, he could have carved himself a nice career in like the IC division, could have helped bring that up. But I don't know. I kind of don't know how to feel about Del Rio's last match.
Apparently, from the updates I've been reading, the incident was something to do like in like catering.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Someone said it's his job to clean the plate or something.
Yeah, so he went and gave him a slap when he found out. So they sacked him.
I'm sure there's a lot worse has happened behind the scenes in WWE. Come on, we've had guys fighting each other.
Didn't Randy Orton shit in a bag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, true story.
I think Randy Orton is like basically unsackable. They would have got rid of him long before now. I'm sure he's failing.
Well, if he gets another wellness strike,
I'm sure he's had about 20 wellness strikes.
Funny how he hasn't had one since.
Yeah.
They've invested way too much in the guy to get rid of him, you know?
And he's a fucking specimen. And I'm surprised Cena's never had a wellness strike. There's no way he's all natural.
Batista?
Exactly.
Case in point.
Fucking blue.
In fairness, some people can be that natural, and John Cena, his physique hasn't actually changed since his debut.
Okay, fair
Randy
enough.
Orton's gone up and down.
Batista, though, nobody gets that veiny and that muscly working out in a gym. Okay? Yeah. Unless they're squirting something between their toes.
And I know Rock wasn't having any type of test when he came back.
Yeah, without a doubt he was on steroids.
He was fucking juiced right up.
No doubt about it.
So, from there, Ambrose and Del Rio, we move on to a Rusev match. And to call it a match, to call it a match is a bit of an exaggeration because everything took place on the WWE app. So, Vicky, what did you think of this? Were you following on the WWE app at the time?
No. I don't have the app. The app is not for me.
No, unless you're watching it live, which obviously in the UK we might not be able to do every week because it's on at like 1 o'clock.
It's too late.
Yeah, so what do you think of doing not even the finish on the app, the whole match?
Fair play.
Fair play?
Yeah, it's Rusev. He's shite. I know, he's not that bad, but I don't know. I don't have any comment.
Well, at least you can get the app for less than $9.99. It's for free.
Yeah.
On $9.98. So Vicky, why ain't you feeling the Rusev?
Crash.
I don't know. I just don't. He doesn't. I don't mind this thing with Swagger because I do like Swagger a bit. I think there's something about him, but they're kind of sized, to be a better feud. But he just hasn't kind of reeled me in. I guess I don't. She annoys me a little bit too. Yeah, she's beautiful and all, but just stop it. You're not even Russian, for God's sake, or whatever. I don't know. It just seems a bit too false.
Okay.
That's just me, though.
No, that's fine. Paul, do you think that Lana is obviously carrying this Rusev gimmick? Because we don't seem to get much Rusev input.
No, well, I mean, he hasn't really been given a chance as well. We don't really know. I don't think he would be as good as he is if he did not have Lana. But I don't know. I think they've kind of, in a weird way, I think it's kind of run its course. I'm kind of sick of it already. And I do like Rusev. I like him in the ring. I think the Jack Swagger feud has been good. I just don't think they've reached the heights that they possibly could have.
No.
And I think having a flag match probably isn't the best way to go. I think it's a cheap way of having Swagger defeat Rusev.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you really want to get the crowd to pop, Rusev had to tap out to the Patriot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You can imagine him almost tapping out, the crowd going nuts, and then when he finally taps out, Jack Swagger is not necessarily made, but like he's got a good couple of months ahead of him because of it, so he should have a bit of a reaction.
Because they're still protecting Rusev a lot, really, then, because you don't think he's not gonna actually lose the match. He's not gonna get pinned or submitted. He's just gonna
exactly.
lose. Yeah, I suppose. But they're protecting him and doing nothing with him at the same time, or not doing enough with him.
Yeah, I don't think I think it's the fact that it's 3 hour Raw, and they only allocate 15 minutes for this feud, and it's not even 15 minutes because it was on the app. Like, I don't think it's been pushed enough, and as well as that, I just don't think enough has happened. It's been just kind of promo, and, you know, maybe they've had a bit of a fight and all that, but it just doesn't seem that personal enough.
Yeah.
I think it was at the beginning, but I think after Lana mentioned the Ukraine, excuse me, the MH17 Ukraine incident at the last pay-per-view, I think they're starting to be a bit more cautious.
Yeah, I think they took a backward step after that. The whole thing, like, you know, they got a lot of heat for it, didn't they? They didn't mention it specifically, but they got a lot of heat for even going in that area.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so from there, we go on to Cesaro against Ziggler. We get The Miz with his moneymaker on commentary. And to stick with the theme of the episode, he's drinking a lemon tea with honey, which is a Hollywood trick. And then Cesaro does a bit of showboating and gets hit with a zigzag for the win. So, Vicky, you're a big Ziggler fan. What do you think of this Ziggler Miz feud?
I think it's okay. I hate the Miz ball bag, as you say.
I'm starting to like him a bit more.
Yeah.
This suits him.
Paul, you're so
he's
excited.
becoming more of a testicle than a ball bag. He's upgrading.
Oh Jesus! I'm the only girl. Don't forget.
The heat, or the hatred that he's getting right now. It's not go away hatred. We think you're terrible.
It's the right kind.
It's the right kind in the sense that his character is that annoying, but you know that it's a cool character because you just know that he had a crappy 2013, one of the worst years of any wrestler's career. And you just know when he went away, he realized that he needed to change it up, and he did, and it's fantastic.
And he's a giant douche now.
He's a giant douche, yeah. And, you know, you love to hate him. And you don't, like, it used to be, you just hate him. You just absolutely hated him. You wanted to get off your TV. But at the moment, this whole moneymaker thing, it's great. And as well as that, I think this feud, I think it is a very, very, very nice spot for Ziggler. And considering where he once was a couple of months ago, I think this is great. He's doing interviews with Michael Cole on YouTube. He's getting victories in tag matches, singles matches, week in, week out. I think this feud has been really, really good. And really, really good for the Intercontinental Championship. It's actually been getting spotlighted quite well, I think.
Yeah. So, Vicky, is your feelings on the ball bag, is it go away heat, or is it this guy's a dick heat? Good or bad heat?
Oh, he's a dick now. He's upgraded again.
He's a dick
now. That's better though, isn't it? Than rather I hate the Miz, get off my TV.
I don't think anyone else could do what he does. So
there you go. So that's I suppose that's a bit of a
kind of compliment.
Yeah, that's a backhanded compliment is better than no compliment at all.
I never thought I would be complimenting the Miz in the year that he did have.
Well, I'm actually looking at a picture of the Miz right now from Raw, and he's wearing shoes with no socks.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah. What dickhead.
Douche.
So then we go on to Goldust and Stardust, and they promote this as they return to the ring because they've just been doing the backstage promos looking for the Cosmic Key for a few weeks. Jake, what do we think of just why are Rybaxel wrestling anymore for a start, and the Goldust and Stardust pairing?
It's so disappointing because they were actually becoming good there earlier on in the year.
Yeah.
And now they're just become jobbers again. And this whole Stardust thing, I don't know what they're doing. It's like
I hate it.
They've given up on Cody Rhodes as himself. And just kind of go, okay, this will be a knockoff of your brother.
It's a bit of a Sandow situation where they give him someone shit to do, and he's doing it really well, but it's still shit.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's doing it well. I think it's terrible. I think it's absolutely awful. I don't like it at all.
I think the way that, you know, in a week he came in and changed his whole moveset and, you know, just changed everything about Cody Rhodes. He didn't just put on face paint and was still Cody Rhodes. He just sort of switched it up. That was how many people on the roster could have done that?
I honestly I can't stand it. I might come across as negative here or a pessimist.
Paul, Being pessimistic? What?
I honestly can't
Yeah.
stand it. That's not very pessimistic. That's fine.
I honestly like.
No. It's
I
pessimism.
reach for the
Trust me.
fast forward button as soon as possible when I see Stardust, when I see a promo, or when I see their match. I can't fucking stand it. I think it's the stupidest thing ever. I gave it a chance when I first seen it. I thought, oh, this could be good. Even if Cody Rhodes had maybe turned heel and became a creepy version of Goldust, a la 1996, 1997. But
That's
he's
not
not.
very
He's just a
PG.
weird.
No.
But he's almost, it's like he watched a load of like Jim Carrey as the Riddler in Batman and Batman Forever, and it's a terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't know, what would you call it?
Gimmick.
Version of that.
Performance, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it could be worse. He could be doing Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. So
Well, yeah,
there's always another level.
Nice to meet you.
That's Rusev's role.
Okay, so from there we get a little authority segment. Kane comes in and takes off his mask. Who cares? Apparently he's
I wonder what he looks like.
going to come back as his See No Evil character. The WWE want to promote that because they're doing See No Evil Part 2. So the character Jacob Goodnight, they're going to try and get that onto TV, which will be fucking terrible.
He is terrible. No.
So, next up, Jake, we get Y2J against Luke Harper. What do you think of Jericho since he's been back and his feud with the Wyatts?
I just think he's kind of doing the Jericho's Greatest Hits tour. Look, I kind of, it's been very lukewarm, and it's just not hitting. It's not on fire, really. I thought this match could have been a lot better, considering it was Luke Harper he was in the ring with. But I don't know. I think we really need heel Jericho. Heel Jericho's far better. Like I remember back in like 2009, 2010, seeing a clip of a house show, and he got under the audience skin so much they started throwing those little DX like X lights things at him. Like he's just not. I never really thought he was a main event level babyface, but I do think he's a main event level heel.
Yeah, I think heel Jericho has always been better than face Jericho, and the whole thing with this feud is that he won. He won the first time, so why do we care about anything that's happening now? Then why are they fighting again? He already beat him. Because he got Sister Abigail into a locker. Oh, great.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with John Cena. Like, John Cena won at Mania. There was no real reason to do it again. And John Cena might as well have won the cage match as well, because, but, look, Bray Wyatt needs to start winning. His credibility, I think, is going down a bit from all the losses.
Yeah, I think so. I think Bray's good, but
he's lost all his momentum.
Yeah, because he always seems to lose the big match.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even back from the Daniel Bryan feud, where they had the cage match and Daniel Bryan laid him out, and then he lost to Cena, and then he lost to Jericho. He seems to win these. He'll win at Battleground, or he'll win at a minor pay-per-view or on Raw, but he won't win a big match. So maybe a Wyatt win at SummerSlam will be, and then we can have like a rubber match between the two.
It's disheartening when you consider the fact that Bray Wyatt's been in the company for a year, and I can only think of one big singles victory, and that was against Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble.
Yeah. That was a great match as well.
It was, but I mean, I would argue that he only got the victory over Daniel Bryan because WWE had no interest in pushing Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, they weren't pushing him at all.
He was going down the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
So from there, we get another piece of TV brilliance in Diego with El Cerrito versus Fandango and Hornswoggle. Does anyone want to comment on this steaming pile of horse shit?
No.
I think this epitomizes how shit this Monday Night Raw was.
Okay. What about Hornswoggle's little shaven head? It's like a fucking medicine ball. Then we get Orton backstage with Renee Young. I think Renee Young's looking better every week. What a lovely young lady she is.
Dean Ambrose is one lucky man.
She says that Orton says to play his footage. So obviously Orton has been, on Final Cut Pro, doing his, making his little videos, and they play just showing him beating down our man Roman Reigns, and he says no one's as sadistic as him. Then we get inspiration for everyone. The best wet t-shirt wearer of all time.
Yeah.
Mr. Bo Dallas.
Oh yeah, Paul has recently started believing.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
This is
He
what
was
happens.
pessimistic at the start, like he always is, but now he believes.
It was more so I didn't think that Bo Dallas believed in the character itself, but I think he's come into his own in the past month or so. And when I first seen him as well, I mean, didn't think he believed in the character. His physique wasn't the best, and his matches were kind of poor. But it's kind of just become his character now that he has quick matches, gets the running Bodog or whatever you call it. But the character itself is now getting a reaction from the crowd, and I think he's grown into it a lot.
Yeah, I think that I think it's a slow burn, and I don't know why he had to lose back in the day.
Yeah.
But you know, he got his fucking R-Truth got his comeuppance.
But of all the people to get the win over R-Truth or over Bo Dallas, it's R-Truth. Like, how does that make sense?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It's WWE. For God's sake. Nothing.
Vicky, what are your thoughts? Are you a believer as well?
I'm starting to come around to him. At first I was a bit like, oh, I don't know. I quite liked him in NXT, but it just took me a little bit. But yeah, I'm starting to enjoy the matches and stuff now, or just the whole ego thing he has going on. It's alright.
So we get a Bray Wyatt promo. These are starting to get a bit samey sometimes, you know.
Boring.
And then we get RVD supposedly fighting Rollins. RVD comes out, they tell him he hasn't got a match, and we get the one-man band, Heath Slater.
Still with the 3-man band music, yeah.
Yeah. He comes out, and Rollins tries to make him go and not have a fight, but he decides to stay and fight, and then Ambrose comes out and basically just shits all over his Money in the Bank briefcase, causing him to lose the match. So, Jake, what are your thoughts on Dean Ambrose?
Well, you're going to listen to me big this up, right? And then you're going to listen to Paul shit on it, so...
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go over the next minute or two.
We were talking about this on our show. I had a severe problem with this, but Jake, you work away. You say why you thought it was a good segment.
I thought it was great, because I really thought Dean Ambrose loved what he was doing, and he was having a lot of fun with it. I thought it was just a funny segment. Just taking the briefcase, doing it's really old school thing, old school petty kind of like, you know, trying to distract your opponent, just taking what's theirs and shitting all over it, you know. And I thought it was great. Now, Paul, come on in and contradict me, please.
No, you hit all the right points, and it was an old school segment, and it was a good idea. I think it fit Dean Ambrose's character very well. Here's my problem. If Heath Slater is going to pick up the shock win over Seth Rollins, why would you tempt us twice with 2 pinfalls and Seth Rollins then kicks out, and then on the 3rd pinfall he gets the victory? It should have just been Seth Rollins has Heath Slater beaten down. He continues to look over at Dean Ambrose, doing all this shit to his briefcase, getting really annoyed. Then Heath Slater, out of nowhere, pulls out the small package, and I'm not talking dirty here, pulls out the small package with a backslide and gets the win. It shouldn't have been previewed for us twice, because it didn't come across as big as it should have when it actually happened.
Well, it was never going to be big. No one cares about Heath Slater.
But didn't the crowd
It's
pop?
a shock. It's a shock, and it wasn't that shocking when we had just been previewed it twice with Seth Rollins kicking out.
Look, I don't think you can have Seth Rollins get pinned that easily. They're building him up. They're giving him the briefcase. Tease it once or twice. It's fine, Paul. Stop being so bloody there.
I'm sorry. It came off as just a little bit poor, and it was a little bit of a... It was a long, drawn-out segment.
Yeah, you only want one small package, and that's it. First time.
Yeah.
There's 3 on this podcast.
Damn right there is. Damn right.
That was good for me.
That was it's quite sharp as well. You can have that one. But we thought this. Do we think this segment made Rollins look good as well? Do you think everyone got their bit of shine from the segment?
I think so. Definitely did.
Alright, yeah, they did.
Oh,
but
come on, Paul. Come on.
No,
but
Paul, don't do it.
here's just a question.
Stick to your guns.
Here's a question, right? Why would Seth Rollins care? It's a briefcase.
But it's got a contract in there.
Because,
It's got Pepsi on there.
Paul, he's a heel. He has an
He's
ego.
getting another one.
Oh,
Get
he's a
another
heel.
one.
He's a heel. He has an ego. He's vain. He's a heel. He's going to care, Paul.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, so
Shut
from
up,
there,
Paul. Sit in the
You
corner.
shut up, Jake.
Shut up, Paul. Shut your mouth.
Both of
we
you,
both-
shut up.
If we
Okay.
just agreed on this segment, we'd be moving along very quickly. At least there's some fucking opinion going in here.
Paul,
all right?
Paul, if I agreed with you, I'd be wrong as well. Okay, so
so we go to the closing segment for the second week in a row on Raw. We get Stephanie and Brie Bella. To be honest, even though this is the end of Raw, I had to fast forward and just see what happened at the end. Because as soon as Brie Bella talks, I want to fucking poke my eyeballs out and put pins in my ears. So,
That's terrible.
what do you think, Vicky? What did you think of this little tete-a-tete and the fact that Stephanie fucked them both up?
Yeah, I liked it. For a change, I liked it. I liked that she did the pedigree on the two of them. I don't know why Nikki was just stood there like a pair of floating boobs, you know?
Because Nikki is a
She
pair of
is.
floating yeah, so, and obviously Stephanie is just playing up to being that number one heel.
But
It's pretty
she is
sad,
good.
isn't it, when Stephanie McMahon is the biggest heel in the business?
It is a bit worrying. No,
Yeah, I
she's not a natural wrestler, really.
She executed the pedigree
Quite well.
well, in fairness to her.
that's because she's been getting private lessons
But here's
from
like,
Triple H.
the one thing I actually liked this segment. Sorry?
What?
What did you say, Jake?
Oh, nothing.
Good. Let's keep it that way. Like, I liked this segment, but having them as the end of Raw 2 weeks in a row, don't think it should have been done. I actually think this segment was done very well, and I like the fact that Stephanie McMahon pedigreed the Bellas, and is kind of getting all the momentum going into SummerSlam, so then the Bellas can get their victory. I actually think it should have been the opening promo.
Look,
No.
I don't mind it being the end this week. It shouldn't have been the end last week. Last week it should have ended with Cena and maybe Paul Heyman. But this week, because the show was so shit, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And you can catch this match between
I think it would have been
Brie and
a
Stephanie
little bit more effective as the opening.
on the network for $9.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of Raw. What are our Raw ratings? So, Vicky, what's your Raw rating for this week?
About 5.
5 out of 10?
Yeah.
So, Paul?
3.
3.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely terrible. And I can't believe I wasted 3 hours. 3 precious hours. Like, this is why I'm complaining so much, is because as a wrestling fan, we go out of our way to watch
3 hours of programming.
paying good money to see it.
Paying
and we have to
nine-
sit through 3 hours of this show. I think we're
$9.99
well in our right to
Month.
complain.
Yeah, okay, so 3. And Jake?
I'll give it 4. I'll give it that extra one that Paul didn't give it, mainly for the Brock Lesnar Cena video.
Okay, so...
That's the only reason why I gave Raw 3.
Alright, so I'll go on to the fan feedback. Only got 2 comments. One is a bit of trolling from one of my mates who says, this is from Lewis Summers, who said, "Thought Jake the Snake was awesome tonight, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan is becoming my favourite." Okay, thanks for that.
I thought they were great as well. Like, you know, they worked a good match together. Jake obviously, as always, brings the stake in at the end. Hacksaw try with the fucking 2x4.
We get Anthony Walker, who says, "Dean Ambrose proved he is fucking awesome. Love Rollins, but Ambrose fucking owned him. Brock Lesnar, John Cena, UFC hype video was awesome. Also, Brock was epic. Loved the Last Man Standing match, was pretty awesome for something that was on Raw. Worst part of Raw was Adam Rose backstage segment. He is the new CLB, creepy little bastard. Though I thought the contract signing was predictable, I do not care what happens between Brie and Stephanie. I just want to see the match." Okay, so just a little bit of feedback. So we're going to go into a break, and we'll be back with Smackdown in 60 seconds and Sugs Stunners.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kenny Killer and the gal them sugar Sugs.
Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slap nut?
Welcome back to the Sunday Segue. I'm joined at the moment by Vicky Earls, Paul Field, and Jake Parker, and we're going to go straight in to SmackDown in 60 seconds. So, SmackDown starts off Mark Henry and Big Show versus Rybaxel. They make a comment about them being the biggest team in history, but while Rybaxel's still wrestling, they get dealt with easily. We get Ambrose Rollins. Ambrose says you can't plan for Dean Ambrose, and then he has little notes in his pocket and he reads some matches off him. Gets interrupted by Rollins, and then he says he's going to make it a lumberjack match, which sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Why? Street fight, please.
Yes.
We get backstage with Ziggler and Rollins. Ziggler's making jokes about him and calls him Catwoman on CrossFit. Then we get Sin Cara against Mr. Sandow as the Border Patrol agent. So Sandow loses to Sin Cara. Rollins Ambrose. Rollins is really aggressive, does a homage to Eddie Guerrero with a triple suplex. Ziggler bumps like crazy. Rollins kicks out to the Famouser, shoves Ziggler into the post, and then curb stomp for the win. Orton says Ambrose will find out that he's the truly sadistic star of WWE. Paige against Natalya. Paige gets out of the sharpshooter, hits the PTO for the submission. Rusev against Big E. So somehow in the last few weeks, Big E has lost his little Nation 2.0, which never happened. We get an accolade. Big E taps out. Y2J promo. He does a little Batman 1998 and says to Bray, "You want to get crazy? Let's get crazy." And then we go to Ambrose versus Orton. His shoulders still taped up 2 months later. JBL and Michael Cole play up how crazy he is. They brawl outside. Then we get Rollins comes down and this DQ match. RKO on Ambrose, curb stomp on Ambrose, and then he gets soda poured all over his face and fades to black. So the usual shit on SmackDown. Just why watch it in the first place? So I'm gonna get you guys to help me out with Sugs Stunners. So we're gonna go for Jobber of the Week. So Jake, Jobber of the Week for this week, SmackDown or Raw?
Sin Cara.
Sin Cara?
Yeah, didn't have a match really on the app.
Yeah. Even though he came back and beat Border Patrol Sandow.
Beat another jobber.
Okay. And then we'll get Move of the Week. Paul, best move of the week on TV.
I'm gonna be a bit kind of here.
TNA.
I don't know if anyone's seen it. The end
Stop.
of the Wolves Hardys match.
No,
What is this TNA you're talking about? I'm not aware of a Ziggler.
They don't have a TV deal, so it's okay. Shut up, Paul.
Gonna give them their props, you know. The Wolves were against the Hardys for the tag team titles.
Who are they?
And Matt Hardy was put up for a powerbomb in the position of a powerbomb, and Davey Richards came off and did a top rope backstabber onto Matt Hardy into a powerbomb move. So that's the first one that comes to mind. Everything else, I can't really think of anything from WWE TV. I don't know. Does anyone else want to jump in and give a move of the week? Because I can't think of anything else.
I don't know. Roman Reigns threw Kane pretty well into the barricade.
Yeah. Which
I'm
one are you
gonna-
talking about now, Jake? Because there's many a time that happened.
The sixth one.
Ah.
That was a good one.
I'm gonna go then with the Pepsi covered curb stomp from SmackDown.
Oh yeah, I've
Just-
seen that.
Just Pepsi all over his face, and then just curb stomped into a pool of Pepsi. Just Pepsi everywhere.
So I think, were you saying there's Pepsi there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This show is sponsored by Pepsi.
It could have been Lion's Tea, but it would have been a bit hot on his face. So, Vicky, you get the honor of giving the wrestler of the week.
Ambrose. I was gonna
Ambrose.
say Rollins, but I was just gonna be different. Yeah.
Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose.
There's actually a shop in Dublin City, I think, called Lunatic Fringe. Isn't there, Paul?
I have no idea.
Remember you pointed out one night when we were on the way to watch WrestleMania in the Bullshit?
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Right,
Do you
yeah.
ever go to Wrestling Mania, the store in Stephen's Green?
oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know Niall then? You know Niall? The
not-
owner?
Not personally, we know, okay.
Yeah.
We see him and exchange money.
All right then.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so rest of the week, Dean Ambrose. So, just like to say then, thank you to the guys for joining me in this Kinny-less episode. And Vicky, where can people get hold of you?
Just on my Twitter, @Vicky Earls. Tis all.
Tis all. Okay, and Paul, where can people get hold of you or listen to your show?
Well, you can get my personal Twitter at the Paul Fields. Then you can go to @the Attitude Era, and you can check out all of our tweets. Go to facebook.com.
All of our tweets.
The Attitude Era. Yeah, all of our tweets.
All of
We don't-
our tweets.
all
we
of
tweet
our
every...
100 odd tweets. And then you can go to Facebook, facebook.com/the Attitude Era, and then you can also check out our shows at Mixcloud and Soundcloud, all /the Attitude Era.
Okay, and Jake, where can people get your words of wisdom?
@heel_deal. That's about it. Or you can just listen to the show and listen to me shite on for an hour. And
Shite on for an hour.
yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so thanks to all my three guests, Vicky Earls, Paul Fields, and Jake Parker. We'll be back next week, but until then, you can catch all our old episodes on YouTube and check out us on iTunes. And no in the words of, so just thanks to say, thanks for listening.